welcome back. Today we wanted to take just a quick second to show you how we have learned to do the knockdown texture on a ceiling when you are doing new construction or reconstruction. I have looked everywhere online and found a few videos that did help us to learn the process, and now we are trying to apply it, and it's actually going pretty well. So we thought we would let you see how we are doing it in case you want to save yourself a little money and do it yourself. As you can see right now, my husband is just taking some drywall mud and just placing it up on the ceiling, and in no particular pattern, and he's putting it on very thick. We have found that as we have been going along the hallways and trying to perfect this system here, that the thicker the drywall, the better. And as you can see, he is not worrying about putting it on neatly, except right near the walls. You need to try to keep that off of the walls as much as possible, because at this point you should have probably already sanded those down and gotten them ready for your painting. The consistency of the mud needs to be pretty thin. You will probably notice that as he is trying to apply that, he is having a hard time keeping it on the knife. And we actually probably have it even a little thicker than we probably should, but it's very difficult to work with the thinner that you get it. The consistency is really just going to be up to you and what look you are going for. So step one is just to get the mud up onto the ceiling, and then we will show you what to do next. For step number two, the only kind of fancy equipment that you need is just simply an old plastic shopping bag. This one here is just a little white one you get from Target, nothing fancy. And as you can see, I am sticking my hand right down the center of the bag, and then I am just grabbing the bag and rolling that up, because I'm going to put that in the palm of my hand to hold on to. So you will see right here just is all blocked up, and that's what's going to create the peaks on our wall. But instead of going out and spending a lot of money renting some fancy equipment, just grab you a sponge or a plastic bag and let's get to working on that ceiling. Now that we have our bag around our hand, that should help keep some of the drywall off of us. And you will see that I am just going in with my fist. You already saw in step one how my husband applied that mud up there fairly thick. That way you can see how it is leaving the peaks as I press into the mud. Now you will get just a little bit overflow on the walls right here, and he is going to come behind me with his putty knife and get that off before it dries. Want to make sure that you are trying to work as cleanly as possible, and we are just going to continue to do this over the entire area, and then we will come back and show you what to do next. As you can see, we are working on sections that are probably about 4 feet by 4 feet, thereabouts. And we are only letting this set for just about 2 minutes before we go in with step three. As you can see, there are some pretty sharp peaks now where I put the plastic in the mud and then pulled it away, and that does create some peaks. Now step three is to take your spackling knife, and you just want to gently knock down the tip of those points. That is why it's called knockdown. As you can see, he is not putting much pressure at all on that knife, and he is just barely dragging it across the tip of those peaks. And Steve, how much of an angle do you think that you're holding that at?
About 5 degrees.
Maybe about a 5-degree angle. That way it keeps the pressure too much. And you can see right there, can you step in and give us a shadow? Steve, step in and give us a shadow on that. So you can see now where the shadow is, you can see a little bit better the texture that it is creating on that wall, and it is drying to a really beautiful knockdown. So he is just going to continue pulling this section. Like I said, it is about a 4 by 4. Now, some people are waiting and letting their mud set for about 10 to 15 minutes before they start the knockdown process. We tried that. We've experimented several different ways in these hallway areas, and we find that going ahead and doing it while it is more wet seems So as you can see, this is what our knockdown finish is looking like. It is not completely dry yet. It is still drying, but it is looking really, really good. And we have done this for just pennies on the dollar. So if you guys don't have the fancy machinery, if you don't have a hopper and you don't have the money to go purchase one, just grab you a plastic bag or a sponge or even a t-shirt. Grab you your spackling knife and a little bit of mud and get to work. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.